Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Grace Church and to our Thursdays at noon concert series. Opened with a joyful piece today called Procession by C.S. Lang, Craig Sellers Lang, British composer who lived in the 20th century, sort of occupied a chunk of the 20th century. He never had a major cathedral post, though he was known more as a teacher and a composer. David tells me he wrote lots of books, training books on how to do things like figured bass and harmony and that sort of thing. Clearly, I've never heard of those, but I'm sure that's true. He's written a few pieces that are quite well known. His tuba tune, very, very well known. Lots of people play. That's a great piece. I'll play that sometime soon. This again called Procession. Joyful and useful. I like useful pieces. It's great for weddings or big ceremonies or occasions, which I also like. So that was just to get us warmed up and ready to go. So I'm going to do something a little different today, which is I'm going to now play two larger pieces, multi-movement larger pieces. I hope that you will enjoy that format. I often play just some disparate things, but I'm going to move now back to the North German school. Johann Gottfried Walther. I've played his music before. Walther was a contemporary of Bach, almost identical dates to Bach, and he was a cousin of Bach. And it's rumored that he married a cousin of Bach. They were probably all cousins. I love Walther's music. He wrote lots of organ music, lots and lots of arrangements of hymn tunes, or chorale tunes would have been called in Germany at the time. And he also was one of the first people to take concerti written for strings and arrange them for organ. He did 14 of these. Bach himself went on to do some of those as well. At some point, I think in the last few years, I've played for you his B minor concerto attributed to Signor Mech. But today, I'm going to play the kind of music that he was really well known for, which were this is actually a Partita, which is a set of variations, quite a few variations, on a chorale tune or a hymn tune. And the hymn tune in German, Herr, Jesu, dich, wend, which is Lord Jesus Christ, be with us now or be present now. It's a lovely tune, and I'll begin by playing the chorale itself, just the hymn, and then go through these series of variations. Some of them are noble, some of them are playful. It's really wonderful. I've been playing pieces of this for years, and I can't remember the last time I played them all together, so today is the day, and hope that goes. There are lots of notes in here. It uses lots of interesting sounds on the organ. I'm using a number of the digital sounds that we don't have available in pipes, or that don't play in the pipes, to try to find some real color, both with reeds and mutations and that sort of thing. So this is Partita on Herr Jesu, dich, wend by Walther. Such a joyful, joyful piece. That mostly went pretty well. As I said, there are lots of notes. I need to find pieces that have fewer notes, but always been a favorite of mine. And again, very useful because you can play as few of those variations as music before the service or music after the service. So for those that play church in normal times, it's really great to find pieces that will also serve you as voluntaries, because you might not play all of that for a prelude, but maybe several movements. The next piece that I'm going to play, and close the program with, is a 4-movement piece. This is a new piece for me. Just learned it for you. This is the Suite in E major for organ by Everett Titcomb. This also fills the bill of very useful, because all 4 movements could be used for church. The first 3 could be very nice voluntaries before the service, and the last clearly a nice big postlude or closing voluntary. Everett Titcomb, probably not a household name. American-born, Massachusetts, just our neighboring state here. Born very into the 19th century and lived through the 20th till 1968. So he and I overlapped a year. I was born in January of 1968. Titcomb died in December of 1968. Obviously, I didn't get to know him. Sometimes, if you're a reader, if you like to read novels or fiction or anything really, sometimes you're reading and you think, I know this person, I know this author, I'm connecting with them, even though we've never met. I can tell by what they're writing that we're kindred spirits. And that happens to me with Titcomb's music. He's written some lovely, lovely motets for choir, which we do here at Grace. He's written organ music. I haven't played a lot of it, but as I played this piece and learned this piece, I thought, he's my spirit animal, I think, in some ways. His claim to fame, if there is such, is he and a friend of his who was an Episcopal priest both went to St. John the Evangelist on Bowdoin Street in Boston, which is now closed. It's no longer open as a parish. They went there I'll forget the dates. Anyway, sort of mid-20th century, like maybe the 40s. Anyway, he was there for a long time, he and this priest. And they together revived sort of the choral mass. So they had a professional choir singing Palestrina mass settings, for example, on a Sunday, and singing the minor propers, all the hallmarks of Anglo-Catholic worship. And Titcomb was instrumental in doing this. They sort of, as a team, brought this to Bowdoin Street. He also wrote music, as I've mentioned, for choir, for organ. And they did some of his music as well, but he was a huge fan of Renaissance polyphony, and Palestrina would have been a god to him, well, should be to all of us. I just think his music is lovely. This piece, it's a suite. It is a prelude, a scherzo, a cantilena, and a recessional. So just to mention, we began the program with a processional by Lang, and we're going to end it with a recessional by Titcomb. It's in E major, which is not a terribly common key unless you're Franck, and then everything's in E major. Very tuneful, slightly romantic, slightly syrupy in places, but I think really lovely. So I'll leave you today with Everett Titcomb's Suite in E major, Prelude, Scherzo, Cantilena, and Recessional.